Hi everyone. A while ago I put a picture up on Facebook, and the other day I noticed that somebody had left a question asking me how I created the frame for it, and it wasn't actually a frame, it was a basic white poster mount. So I thought I would take the opportunity to do another video on these mounts and show you how to do a basic white poster mount. Now, if you've not seen my other video, it's on my blog here, stroke mount for images using actions in Photoshop. There's a video down here, and the actual video itself is on YouTube as well, which it's possible you're watching this one on. So if you've not seen this one, then you may want to watch this one first, because I do go over the basics, but I will explain it briefly here. This technique for doing these poster mounts, and there's various ones you can do, and I shall be doing some more in the future, but the actual technique itself is quite simple. It's just making adjustments to the canvas size, and when we do that, Photoshop by default will use your background colour as the canvas extension colour. So it's always a good idea to make sure your background colour is set to the colour of the mount that you want to do. Now, like before in the last video, I will do an action at the same time. So if your little action pane is not showing, then you just come up to Window, scroll down to Actions and click on that. Now, I've got a little folder here I created in the last video for keeping these actions in. So to create that, you click on this little folder icon here, and it will ask for a name, so you just type in the name and click OK. And you can see that I've named my one Mounts Landscape, and as I explained in the last video, the reason for putting the landscape on the end is because this image is in the landscape orientation, and if we actually play this action back on the portrait image, it wouldn't look right. So we need to do separate ones for portrait images, and I'll do them in the future. So we need to actually create the action, so we click on this little icon up here next to the trash can. It's going to ask for a name, so I should type in basic white mount and click record. Now, I always like to create a duplicate, so I'll come up to Image, down to Duplicate, click on that and just click OK. So now we're working on a copy, we're not working on the original image. So like I said, the actual technique is just making adjustments to the canvas size. So we need to come up to Image, down to Canvas Size and click on Canvas Size. Now, because we're doing this as an action, I use %, and I explained all this in the last video, but basically the reason I use % is because then it bases it off the size of the image that we're using. So if I run this action back on a smaller image, the canvas size won't be too big. So for the width, I'm going to type in 30, and for the height we're going to type in 40. So we've got 30% and 40%. I'm going to leave it anchored to the center, which means it's going to apply the extension to all four sides of the image, and we've got relative checked, and we click OK. As you can see, that creates like a big white border. Now we need to add a little bit more space down here, so we go back up to Image, back down to Canvas Size, we use % again, and for the height we type in 10, for the width we leave it 0, we've got relative checked again, but this time we click on this little arrow at the top which anchors the image to the top, and that means all the extension is going to be applied to the bottom. So we click OK, and it sticks another 10% on the bottom. Now, the reason for keeping this, or for creating this extra space down here, is so we can type in our name and a name for the image. So with the text tool selected, I'll click down here and I'll do, say, 48 points for font size. Now obviously you would type in your name here, or you might type in the name of your photography business, and I'm just going to OK that and click up the top here and lower the font size down to 30 points, and I should type in a name for the image, and I shall OK that. Now, as I explained before, and I'll explain this again now, what I shall do is on these two parts of the action here where we make the text layers, I will click on these little check boxes here, which is toggle dialog on and off. And the reason we do that is so that when we play the action back, when it gets down to this point, it will stop and it will highlight the text, and it will allow us to make changes to the text. So if we're playing this back on a smaller image, then that text will be too big. So what you can do is lower the font size, or you can actually change the colour. You can change it to a different font if you want, and when we OK it, it will then stop here again, and it will allow us to type in a different title, because obviously a different image will have a different name. So now what we need to do is, with the shift key down, I've held down, we click on this bottom layer down here, so we've got all the layers selected, and with the move tool selected, I'll click on this little icon here, which is align horizontal centers, and that centers the text. Now we click on the new layer icon down here to create a new layer at the top, and we push Ctrl A to select all, come up to edit, down to stroke, and we apply a 1 pixel black stroke, click OK, then Ctrl D to deselect and lower the opacity of this layer down to about 60%, and then we click stop, and that's it, it's all done. So if I close this down, I won't save it, and I'll find the action we just recorded, and I'll play it back. Now you'll see that it's stopped here and it's highlighted the text, so we can actually make changes to the font size, the colour, but I shall OK that, and again it's highlighted the text, but I shall OK that, and then it centers the text, it creates that layer, let's put a stroke around it. The reason for this layer at the top with this stroke going around it is so as we can put this on a white background if we want to. Now maybe you've got a blog, or maybe you upload it to your Flickr page and the actual page you upload it to is white. With this extra layer here with a stroke going around it means it will stand out on the white background. So I've got another image here which not only is smaller in the terms of resolution, this is a 6.3 megapixel and the other one is a 12.3 megapixel, but this image has also been cropped, and this is actually the image I uploaded to Facebook that the lady saw and asked me how I'd done the frame for it. So if I play the action back, you can see that the canvas looks right, and that's because we used percentage for resizing the canvas. If we had used a fixed unit of measurement such as inches or centimeters, then the actual mount would be too big, but the actual font size is too big, so I'll knock that down to 30 and I will OK that, and again the name is too big, so I'll resize that. I need to put in a new name, and I shall OK that, and it centers the text. So that is the technique for doing a basic white poster mount. Now the sizes I've used aren't set in stone. You can use your own sizes. You can play around and come up with something else that you like. But that is the basic technique for doing it. I hope it's been helpful. I shall be doing some more in the future, so I hope to see you again soon. Bye.